What's going on, my Beat It gang? What's going on, y'all? Being Divinely Aligned Collective. What's going on, man? Happy First Friday. Woo-hoo-hoo. Happy First Friday, y'all. I don't know what you was going through. Past tense, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know what you will go through, but I just want to say, man, lovely day. It's a lovely day, man. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day to get some sun. It's a beautiful day to smile. Hey, man, if you was wondering when to put them shoes on, put them on today. If you was wondering when to bust that outfit on, bust that outfit out today. If you was wondering when to pull that roast or, that specific thing that you was thinking about waiting to cook out, do it today. Because you know why? Tomorrow is not promised. You get what I'm saying? Tomorrow is not promised. Yo. I hope everybody is doing well, man. And even if you're not doing well, envision yourself doing well. Positive thoughts bring positive things into existence, Somebody that I like and I respect, his name is Kai Green. He said, thoughts become things. So because thoughts become things, we have to consistently watch what we allow our thoughts to go and where to go. And then also, we have to make sure that where our thoughts go and generate from are not from a lack or scarcity or fearful mindset, but from an abundance mindset. From an abundance mindset of it is gonna happen. Why not me? Manifestation isn't just sitting back and thinking like, hey, this is gonna happen. It's actually seeing it before it happens and then aligning yourself to be the type of person that can happen and will happen to and for as they move forward, not only in that mindset, but with that outlook. Your outlook determines your altitude, man. You ever be around somebody, and not that they may be related to you or they could be related to you, but you could be around somebody and you say, hey, man, it's a beautiful day. And they're like, oh, it's not beautiful. You're like, man, what the fuck is your problem? Like, if I say the sky is blue, which it clearly is, you gonna debate me and say, well, it's a particle that's coming that's allowing it to bleed blue. Technically, it's really red. Like, man, come on. Watch the company around you. And I say that because people would love to project their fears and insecurities on you because they don't have the capacity or the mind frame to think in abundance because they've been living in such a poverty mind state. And when I say poverty mind state, I don't just mean like poor physically, but you could be poor in spirit. You could be poor in attitude. You could be poor in ideas. Like you just feel like this is the way that you were born and this is the way that you were raised. So it's the only way that you have to think and go off of because you know no different. But that's where my chosen ones come in. The ones that are not only thinking different, but breaking all the molds, breaking all the patterns, breaking all of the, the societal norms of what you grew up in and just saying, I'm moving forward. Despite what I see, I have a knowing, I have an inkling that's just not only going to push me forward, but that's just going to keep me moving forward. And you have to believe that, man. Words are powerful. So make sure that not only you're speaking words of life, but you rebuke and reject anything that anybody says that isn't of positivity. So one verse that I have for you that, you may or may not know is found in Isaiah 54:17. And it says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Every tongue that rises against me in judgment, you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me, declares the Lord. So let's break that down. It says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Now, they didn't say that weapons wouldn't form because weapons are going to form. But it's saying that that weapon ain't gonna prosper. Holy crap, let's go. Because if we know that that weapon isn't gonna prosper, you can just walk right by it and leave it where it's at. You can just not even address that thought, feeling, or thing, because you know that it's not gonna prosper, because you have the fundamental belief. And that's the part where the enemy can get you, the belief. Because if you don't believe, then the power of what you're saying has no power behind it. So you have to have and put some power behind that belief. But then the second part about it, it says, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. Every tongue that rises against me in judgment, you shall condemn. There are going to be people not only that form weapons, that are going to raise up with slander, with gossip, that are seeking to delay, speaking to put word curses on you, like, oh, they're never going to do that. They're never going to attain that. And some of them may be family members, and they may be putting their insecurities on you because their frame of mind has only gone so far, because this is the way that they've been conditioned. And that's called a limiting belief, okay? So a limiting belief is something that someone only believes is possible up to a certain point, and that's it. And they're limited in their belief, okay? And with that limiting belief, people project that shit on family members. That's why you can hear the mother say, oh, you just like your dad. You ain't gonna be nothing like your daddy. Meanwhile, the daddy only went to jail. The daddy never graduated high school. The daddy never completed full adulthood as a man to understand that he is a protector, a provider, and most importantly, the overall of what the family needs to stabilize it and be the foundation. He didn't do any of that. And now the mother is projecting that on said son. And now the son, after hearing that so many times, he believes it, and now it has become a limiting belief. That's why when we go back to Isaiah 54:17, follow me, y'all. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Every tongue that rises against you in judgment, you shall condemn. When people start speaking limiting beliefs to you and start saying stuff, you don't have to condemn them. You could just say, oh, okay, and keep that shit moving. Because the more you engage with the enemy, the more you engage with people whose minds can't go farther than what they can see, you're just going in a losing battle. From afar, two people arguing are both fools. And you get up close and you hear both arguments, you're like, well, this person is right, but from afar, they both look foolish. So what I'm saying is you don't even got to engage in that. But what you do need to engage in is positive talk, positive affirmation. And once you know that the battle is already yours, the battle is already won, my chosen ones, you will put less energy into fighting back and more energy into doing what you know you need to do to receive and have the manifestation of what you want. Faith without works is dead. So you're not just going to get what you want by saying, hey, you know, I thought of this, so it's going to happen. No, you're going to have to put work behind it. You're going to have to put time behind it. And you're going to have to align yourself the right way to show not only God, but those around you in the universe that, hey, this person is becoming the type of person that can handle this success, that can handle whatever they're asking for. So we're going to give it to them. It's not going to just happen immediately. It's going to happen through repetition of showing up, repetition of not only showing up, but showing up when conditions may seem and deem otherwise to you, but you still show up anyway. You get what I'm saying? No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Every tongue that rises against you in judgment, you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and their righteousness is from me, declares the Lord. We've already been made righteous as we are washed under the blood. And as we're washed under the blood, we walk in a certain way. We talk in a certain way. That's why those who serve the Most High God and walk with that anointing, that's why you could walk into a room and immediately you just get resistance. That's because your spirit carries weight. You may not be aware of it, but the spirit that you carry carries weight. So once you know the weight you carry and what's on you, you'll be less likely to go to places where you're not celebrated, where you're just tolerated, and you'll save your energy for those places where it's divinely ordered for you to be, because you're supposed to give somebody a message. It's a divine assignment where you have to not only pass a test, but be part of that test. And then it's a divine opportunity that you are stepping and walking into that could not only benefit you, but benefit somebody else. We're called to be blessings in this world, not just hoard the blessings. So whatever said blessing that you're manifesting and you want, think about it. Am I just doing this for me? Because if you're just doing it for you, 10 times out of 10, that blessing isn't going to last because it only is going as far as you. But if you're doing something that you want to affect and stretch with a pure heart for others, that blessing is going to manifest and multiply tenfold because the universe is saying, wow, they're not just thinking about themselves, they're thinking about mankind, they're thinking about better other people. And that's when the enemy is going to attack you, because what is the world driven on now? Self. How can I look better? How can I get a better car? How can I get a better spouse? How can I make more money for me? Nothing is driven on thinking about the other man. We live in a dog-eat-dog world. Everybody's trying to climb over the next person to get to the proverbial dream of happiness, when really happiness is found in the perspective in the life that you live and the perspective of peace that you attain. Peace is priceless. That's why you can see somebody walk away from a $100,000 job and say they're much happier working a 9 to 5 because they have peace. But to somebody else, they will look at them and be like, nah, man, you crazy. I'm happy making all this money, even though I don't get to see my wife and kids if you have that. Or you may not even have that, but you're working so many hours where you can't even get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You know, it's all in perspective. And the enemy comes to attack your perspective. So you have to be aware on where your mind goes and what you're thinking. Because if you're moving forward and you're not moving forward thinking positive, thinking in a way that is just beyond right now, you are going to fall into the enemy's traps. Think about Jacob and Esau. Esau sold his birthright for some food because he was hungry in the moment. But had Esau known, you know what, this birthright is actually going to pay dividends. And even though I'm hungry right now, let me deny my flesh. Whew, come on now. Let me deny the urge to eat, because there could be something with this. And that's what the enemy plays on. He plays on our desire to be instantly gratified instead of going at it the long way. The path less traveled, although we don't know what's on it, leads to the most beautiful views. Metaphorically speaking, it leads to the best success. But the path that everybody else is taking, you know what you're gonna get. You can expect what's gonna happen because everybody else is taking that way. And that's why the ones that are the first to do it experience so much pushback. Not only are they trailblazers, not only are they general pattern breakers, man, they open the door to show people a new way of doing stuff. So the resistance and the fight that they come up against is going to be that much more harder. And the only reason why it's that much more harder is because they're doing what nobody else wants to do. They're thinking and walking in the vision of not just following true to what someone else isn't doing. They're doing the different thing. And back to Jacob and Esau, when Esau ate the food, he basically said, you know what? My future isn't worth me waiting. Whoo, I don't know who that's for. My future isn't worth me waiting. I'm hungry now, so I want to get what I want now. And the crazy part about it is we've done that before. We may break the fast. We may break the diet. We may, give up on the relationship or give up on the job too soon. Now, that's not to say that sometimes we don't need to walk away. We do. That's why we need to have a connection with the Most High. We need to have a connection with not only that, our spirit team in the universe, to allow us to know, to see, okay, I prayed on this, I meditated on this. Let me step out of this because this really isn't aligning with where I want to go and where I want to be. So it's over. But don't just do things prematurely. And that's the reason why Esau really wasn't able to capitalize on his blessing, because he moved prematurely. Don't move before your blessing is coming. You know what I'm saying? And just know that even though weapons may form, they're not going to prosper. And those that rise up against you, talking about you, they're going to have to be condemned not only by God, but by everything that's connected to the Most High God. So you don't have to put your mouth on anybody. You don't have to make anybody feel bad. Allow God to do that. All you have to do is show up, give grace, give mercy, because you're not perfect and you know you need that same thing. And as you move and operate within that, watch how God will make your enemies your footstool, and you'll continually keep elevating, and they're going to be scratching their head like, I'm doing all of this, I'm doing all of this, I'm doing all of this, and they still keep seeming to win. Although it may not seem like you're winning fast to you, to everybody else, you're like, man, they're doing laps around me. But that's because you're doing it not in the way of the world, but you're doing it in the way of spirit. Guys, man, I hope you know the journey is far from over, but you got to continually keep walking it. You got to continually keep moving. And most importantly, you got to continually keep that heart of gratitude. Gratitude is the thing that defeats the enemy. Gratitude is the thing that's going to allow you not only to move forward, but to keep that posture of faithfulness and that posture of it's coming. And most importantly, gratitude pisses the enemy off. You ever see somebody that's awoke and you're just like, man, they just look so unhappy. They're unhappy because they haven't counted the blessings that not only they have, but the blessings that God gave them, that they're walking in, that they prayed for. I'm standing in blessings right now that I didn't think was possible a year ago. Now, they may not be as big and as luxurious as other people, but they're blessings to me, and I'm thankful. And he who is faithful over a little, God will make you a ruler over a lot. So if you're thankful for the blessings that God gave you today, if you're thankful that you're not where you used to be and there's room for you to grow more, manifest and think about that and say, okay, I'm not where I want to be, but I'm not where I was. How can I use this as leverage to put work in, to align myself to get to where I want to be while still being grateful? If you can answer that question, you're going to move forward, and you're going to move forward not in a rapid pace, but you're going to move forward in progressive steps, because if we miss steps, we're going to go back. So as you move forward in that progressive pace, you're going to see that what you're doing not only is working, but it's going to inspire other people to do the same thing as well. Now, it also is going to bring hate too, because wherever light is, dark is. So you're also going to attract those dark spirits, those dark vibes. But I just want to say, lean into that. Lean into the darkness. You see the yin and the yang? There is, for every light, there is a darkness. That's called polarity. So for every good, there's going to be a bad. You need to be in tune with your bad. I'm not talking about lean into it. I'm talking about be in tune with the person that you could be, the person that you used to be, so you can stay away from that person. But if you're not in tune with it, when those urges and those things come up, you're going to succumb to it because you feel, oh, I can't resist this. But if you know who you used to be and you know who God called you out of, that's when you can say, we overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the power of our testimony. Come on, Revelations 13:10. When we overcome, we can look back and say, hey, this is who I was. This is not who I am, because we're in tune with the steps and the places where we used to be. And we're so glad that we're not that person, that we can see, okay, I'm starting to vibrate a little low now. Let me not only meditate, let me get around some positivity. Let me detach, let me cut some cords so I can move forward. And then we'll put the steps in so we can stay positively aligned. But if you're not in tune with your darkness and you feel like all you are is good and there's no dark in you, you fooling yourself. You fooling yourself, because no one is perfect. Romans 3:23 says, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So there's no one perfect. The more that we're in tune with the negative aspects of ourselves, not doing them, but realizing how filthy, how dirty, how messed up we are, we'll accept the grace that has been given to us, and we'll be able to extend it to others. And in those moments that we have of temptation, we'll be able to say, you know what? I feel like doing this, but by the grace of God, I don't want to, and I'm tapping into him and I'm thinking positive so I don't go back to that. And the more that we build that muscle, the more that we'll be able to resist. But the more that you act like you don't have an issue, that you're not, overcoming that issue of addiction, of whatever it may be, you're only falling yourself, because the enemy is like, oh, they're prideful. They think that their shit don't stink. And those that feel that way, they're going to fall. Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. So not saying that when you acknowledge the bad that you have to go there. No, you acknowledge the bad because you realize, hey, man, I once was this way too. And then you could see, okay, this is how it plays into the light. Polarity is up and down, light and dark. So the more that you realize that you're both, you can say, okay, I have to subdue that part so I can actually have what I want. And those thoughts that you're thinking won't go to the negative. They'll continually move forward in the positive, because you can see, man, that's who I used to be. That's not who I am. So the power of my thoughts do matter. What I do read, what I do watch is important, not only to feel myself, but to move forward. Guys, man, on this live today, I hope that y'all enjoy yourselves. Make sure you fill yourselves not only with the gratitude that's been given to you, but make sure you move forward in the spirit and the positivity, not only of God, but in the spirit of gratefulness that you have. And just know, weapons may form, but they're not going to prosper. Anybody that's talking down on you isn't paying attention to themselves. So they're already at a deficit anyway. But what you need to do is continually keep moving forward. Keep your eyes up, keep your heart open, and continually do the work. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So move forward, continually be grateful, keep your eyes up, excuse me, move forward, keep your eyes open, look up, and have a heart of gratitude, and just know the best is yet to come. But you got to think those positive thoughts, and you got to move forward day by day, step by step. You're not in that spot where you used to be. You're not where you want to be, but you're in the greatest spot to continually keep moving forward and changing if you want to. Keep going. Being Divinely Aligned Collective, my Beta Gang, thank y'all for tapping in. We're going to go on some more lives. Check out the shorts, check out the videos, but most importantly, check out where you are. And if where you are is vastly different than where you used to be, and it's an improvement, make sure you give God some grateful praise. Make sure you show him some glory, because what we don't appreciate, what we don't value, will be soon taken away. Y'all have a good one. Peace, love, and light. We out. Glory to God.